Hello, citizens of the verse. Today we'll be talking about my predictions for Citizencon and why they differ from the mass. Before we kick things off, I'd like to introduce myself. I'm a game designer that has recently been obsessed with Star Citizen, and I dream of one day working on the game. I will, however, keep this video as unbiased as possible to remain an accurate prediction. Your support means the world to me. Thank you. I predict that Star Citizen will not be showing off gameplay. I predict they will not even be talking about new star systems or even ships. Here's what I believe Star Citizen will be showing in Citizencon 2025. Star Citizen is headed in a new direction. We have been getting monthly patches and a lot more focus on stability rather than new features this year. Why? To explain why, we have to dive way back into the history of Star Citizen, all the way back to the start.
Hi, I'm Chris Roberts, and I'd like to show you something I've been working on.
Star Citizen at its birth was not a game being sold to players. It was a dream. The dream we all wanted to see succeed. So, we threw money at them and told them, "Make the game!" This was great and all for CIG, but their vision being as massive as it was, would take millions, if not billions of dollars to create, and Chris knew he should not start something he could not finish. So, he had to figure out a secure way of making his dream capable. Selling ships was not a guaranteed way of making money. In hindsight, it has worked out great. However, this from a business point of view was not their safest option. A safer option would be to create a game that could promote Star Citizen and also make them the money they needed to secure the dream. What was this game? Many of you probably already know. Squadron 42. A single-player story game that is much more manageable for CIG to create, and many of the assets plus systems could be taken from and integrated directly into their dream game, Star Citizen. As work was being done on Squadron 42, Star Citizen was still searching for their identity, figuring out what features were necessary for the full release of their game, and which features could be following after the release. But there was one issue. A massive issue that could potentially stop Star Citizen from ever becoming a reality, and until they had solved this issue, it would not be worth putting all the work into fixing their spaghetti code and rewriting everything they have created. This issue was server meshing. Without server meshing, the dream could not be delivered, not at Chris Roberts' perfect standards, and we all know he wouldn't settle for less. Things were looking grim for many years. The game would crash every 20 minutes, and features did not seem to fit together. These were the years of the screenshot simulator, and it was not until December 2024 that server meshing was successfully completed, and lo and behold, right after we got the letter from the chairman. The letter from the chairman covered 3 main topics: performance, stability, and content. This was the course set for the rest of the year. With the biggest barriers being out of the way and Squadron 42 right around the corner, CIG was now ready to polish up their game and, most importantly, get rid of the spaghetti code. As I said before, Star Citizen prior to server meshing was a playground of testing, seeing what would work and what wouldn't. This is because while they were coding, they did not plan for the future, resulting in them having to rebuild their code every time they added a new feature. While this wasn't the most eventful year, I am happy because this year marks the first year we actually saw CIG deliver upon their promise in a timely manner. Let's take a look at what CIG has changed this year in Star Citizen. Playability. There have been many changes to playability, including the load time dropping from 15 minutes to 2, player elevators being fixed, and quantum refueling actually refilling. This is just to name a few. Content. We have seen new content such as the laser platforms firing from upper atmosphere, blowing up holes in the moon's crust, allowing you to extract rare minerals. We fought huge Apex worm boss fights, with elaborate steps that lead up to its defeat, and puzzle gameplay in the underground depths of the Onyx facilities. In fact, there has been so much new content that I could make multiple videos covering all of the things added to Star Citizen this year. And lastly but not least, stability. Lots of players have been mocking the stability, but let's be honest, crashes are way less frequent, and when they happen, we can understand what's causing them, which is much different than when they used to happen randomly every 30 minutes or so. Server FPS is now higher than ever before, and Vulkan is now entering preview, allowing players with lower spec PCs to try out the game. But if this is all they have worked on this year, and we haven't seen any new features, what will we see in Citizencon 2025? This is the first year that I believe they will be able to give us a solid roadmap as to what their plan is for making 1.0 a reality. But why would us citizens ever trust their roadmap this year after all the other years of unfulfilled promises? That is because this is the first year that CIG has delivered upon their promises, marking a change that I think we will see carry on for the next 3 years of development. Here's my prediction of what Citizencon 2025 will look like. For the first 30 minutes, they will be showing the differences that have happened between this year and other years, including changes they have made to their workflow, team, and most importantly, the game. The next 90 minutes will be spent talking about the long-term roadmap to 1.0, including all the gameplay elements that will be added, what is blocking them, and when they will be put into testing, as well as when they will enter the game. Again, I don't believe there is time to see any gameplay in these 2 hours, but I think this roadmap is the only thing that will be able to capture the trust of citizens once more. Saying engineering is coming next year was already said last year. We've already seen the gameplay for base building and understand how crafting will work. I truly believe this is CIG's only move forward, but I'd be happy to hear what you think down below in the comments. Would this reassure your dream of Star Citizen? Or do you think they will be doing more gameplay demos? Please let me know. And if you got this far, I'd really appreciate a like and subscribe. It makes me super happy knowing you all enjoy the content, and I'll continue to make more. With that being said, thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the verse.